Hey, it's Gene. I'm in downtown St. Louis right now. I spent the night last night about 25 miles east of here, out in the middle of nowhere at a rest stop. I'll show you a couple things real quick here. On the way back, I'm now west of the Mississippi, and on the way back, I'll probably come back through here, do a little drumming. But this building, make sure I can see it here, right there, the with the the old looking. There we go. There we go, behind me. You see it right there? Yeah, that is the courthouse where the Dred Scott decision was first handed down. Not the Supreme Court ruling, but the actual, original court ruling, the Dred Scott decision, which probably the worst decision ever in Supreme Court history, to be perfectly honest. Which the Supreme Court ended up ruling Judge Taney, who himself held enslaved people in bondage. They ruled that Dred Scott, who was a black man in Illinois, but I believe it's Illinois. No, excuse me, Missouri. We're in Missouri, right? I don't know where I'm at. But anyways, that he had no standing in court, essentially as a human being. Basically what the ruling was that black people just weren't people. So that's a pretty bad ruling, huh? But that is where it was first handed down. And then over here, if you look, you can see there's the arch. This is looking from the west. So you do not drive through the arch. You kind of drive past the arch, but there it is. And what I want to say is here, so here we have the courthouse. It's not a courthouse now, I don't think. The courthouse where the Dred Scott decision was handed down, and the arch. And perhaps that represents two aspects of the United States. I think the arch is cool. I've been up in it before, but the arch is really cool. And it's, the gateway of the West, St. Louis. And so we think of westward expansion, manifest destiny, go west, young man, the Oregon Trail, gold rush, whatever. And then that's sort of the thing we're taught in school. I guess most of you, at least my age, you studied all that in American history. And then there's the side of American history, which is the things like the Dred Scott decision. America's always kind of, and I'm not trying to bash the United States. I love my country, but there's two parallel histories going on, intertwined maybe at the same time. There's kind of the history that we're taught, and then the history that is maybe taught in school, but it's sort of brushed under the rug a little bit. It's kind of, it's kind of like your crazy uncle that you don't like to have out too much at family reunions. You just kind of ask my crazy uncle, whatever. He's in the family, but it's kind of like that. But I can think of no place better in the United States. And I've been here in downtown St. Louis a few times, but I can think of no better place in the United States, or one of the few places in the U.S. that really represents that intertwining of the narratives of U.S. history than the arch and the courthouse where the Dred Scott ruling was first handed down. So I'm going to be heading out. I've got some friends here to see. I'm going to get in touch with them. Maybe I'll be around St. Louis a bit. If not, I will see them on the way back. But I've decided that I think what I'm going to do is head up the Mississippi on the west side towards Hannibal, which is where Mark Twain, was from. And then on up, I'm looking for a little town in Iowa called Albia. I think it's Albia. And when I get there, I will tell you why. Hey, what's up? I take these shades off. Maybe you can see me better. Maybe not. I'm actually right by the very old Catholic church here just west of the Mississippi. This is the arch behind me in St. Louis. And so I just think as I kind of head into this western portion of this journey, the Elvis Burger 2020 trip out to Portland to see my buddy Michael Turk, I was kind of thinking what song would I want to drum at this point, and the the civil rights song that I was thinking of is, I don't even know the title, but it's, I'll just sing it for you, and then I'm going to try to drum along with it. I've never quite got the rhythm of it quite right on the drum, but I'm going to try. Goes like this. So my little, I guess, prayer for traveling out west. Lord, I want my God to walk with me. Lord, I want my God to walk with me all along this pilgrim journey. Lord, I want my God to walk with me. Lord, I want my God to walk with me. Lord, I want my God to walk with me all along this pilgrim journey. Lord, I want my God to walk with me. So that's really some bad theology, because God is not my God. God, higher power, spirit, whatever. I don't really care. I'm pretty much over a lot of organized religion, anyways. I'm just a rogue Presbyterian minister and a Dudist priest, traveling west here, just by the arch, just over west of the Mississippi River. I'm going to walk down there in a minute to the river. We are all gods. God doesn't belong to us. God doesn't belong to any one people, any one race, any one nation, any one religion, any one spirituality. But as I do go west, that is my prayer, bad theology or not, that, Lord, I want my God to walk with me. Lord, I want my God to walk with me all along this pilgrim journey. Lord, I want my God to walk with me. I want your God to walk with you. Lord, I want your God to walk with you all along your pilgrim journey. Lord, I want your God to walk with you. I want our God to walk with us. Lord, I want our God to walk with us all along this pilgrim journey. Lord, I want our God to walk with us. And I'm going to walk down to Old Muddy down the Mississippi River, and I'll see y'all in a bit. Elvis Burger 2020. Hey, this is Gene on the Elvis Burger 2022. I got a couple people here. I'm down by the Mississippi River, just so you know. I'm right on the Mississippi River, and there's the arch, and it's just kind of like, the gateway city. And can y'all introduce yourselves? And I didn't get your name. I'm Gene.
I'm Felicia.
I'm John.
Felicia and John. And I got to hurry up because Felicia's doing her workout, and I can relate to that because, I know I need to be doing my workout. I've been lazy. I haven't been doing them. But I just give y'all time to, what's y'all's take on what's going on with Black Lives Matter nationally? Ferguson, it's been a couple years ago, but I know Tracy Blackman, Reverend Tracy Blackman, she's not, I say, a friend of mine, but I know her. And Reverend Barber is an associate of mine. And just so you know a little about me and where I'm coming from. So this should be a pretty good interview. It's a friendly interview. But hey, what do y'all got to say?
Well, I think the Black Lives Matter movement is great. It's well overdue actions that have been taken as far as like the police departments, as far as like like getting held accountable for killings.
Sure.
Useless, unsenseful killings of blacks. You know, everybody should be created equally. The police supposed to serve and protect. That's everybody, no matter who you are, color, culture. And I just think it's time for them to be held accountable. It's overdue, long overdue. So I think the Black Lives Matter movement, all the marches, I think is great.
I was just in Louisville just a couple days ago, and I was talking with some folks there. You know, Breonna Taylor there. John?
Oh, it's the same thing. Black lives. I'm a black man. I've been pulled over a bunch of times for nothing, so I understand where everybody coming from. And guns drawn on me for no reason at all. So
oh man. You know, I had a stop and frisk. I'm a long-haired white boy. I had a stop and frisk years ago in the '80s out west, and I tell people about it. And I actually had some batons and a couple weapons put to my head. And at the end, they said, when they brought me up my knees, they said, "Thank you for your cooperation." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And a friend of mine said, "Well, then you, of all people, should think all lives matter because you're a white guy and you've gone through this." And I said, "No." I said, "Because if I were black, it would have been worse."
Yeah.
So it makes me actually more aware of the situation than less aware. So hey, I want to thank y'all and get back to your workout.
Yep.
You know, get back to your workout. Are you running in your mask and everything?
Yep. Yep.
Hardcore. Yeah. Booyah. All right. Hey, y'all take care. Be blessed.
Hey, what's up? It's Gene. I got just a little bit of battery left here. I'm heading back to my car after going down to the river and the hard. Right over here is the courthouse where the Dred Scott decision was decided. I was just standing on the corner. It's Rue de la Place and or Broadway and something. I'm right downtown in St. Louis. I was just talking to a guy named Al. He's an older black gentleman. He's here. He's from Seattle. His daughter's name is Nicole. She's in intensive care here. Doesn't have COVID. She's in intensive care. And he's here to see her and make sure she's okay. So I want y'all to remember Nicole, thoughts and prayers, no love and light. And Al, he didn't want to do an interview on camera, but we were just talking. And he said I should quote him, so I'm just going to tell you what he said. Right here, with the flag flying behind me on a windy day, downtown St. Louis, with the Dred Scott right there, the courthouse. Al said to me, he's an older guy, maybe about my age. I'm 56, 55, 56, 70, 60. I don't know. He's an older guy. But he said, this was his words. He said, "You can quote me." He says, "I'm a Christian, and I'm going to say this. The current situation with Black Lives Matter and what's going on with the recent shootings, Georgia, Kentucky, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and elsewhere." He said, "This is bigger than Rosa Parks. This is," he said, actually said, this right now, this moment, is bigger than Rosa Parks. And that this is more than," he said, "this is a move of God." He said, "Black Lives Matter and what's going on right now is a move of God. And that actually we are living in perhaps a bigger moment historically for civil rights than the era of Rosa Parks in the 1950s. That's a mighty big statement, but that's what Al thinks. That's what Al thinks. And Al struck me as a very wise person. He really did. He's deep. And I appreciate him taking the time to just chat with me on the street here, while he's worried about his daughter, Nicole. I have my drum bag on, and he said, "That's a nice drum bag." And I said, "Yeah, there's a nice drum in it." He says, "You just drumming down by the river?" I said, "Yeah, I was just drumming down by the river." And that's Al. And he wanted me to tell you that. So, all right, Elvis Burger 2020. I'm headed back to where my car is parked so I can get my phone a charge. And then we'll see what I'm going to do from there. I don't know. I can actually stay here parked for $10 till 2 a.m. So who knows what's going to happen. All right, over and out. Elvis Burger 2020. Bye-bye. Behind me is Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn. This is a statue. I'm down in the historic district here in Hannibal, Missouri, home of Mark Twain. And I read Tom Sawyer when I was, oh gosh, I don't know. I was a little kid, man. I mean, maybe 10 years old. And read Huck Finn in community college in the mid-90s. And saw the Disney movies and, all that stuff.
But I thought I'd stop by here. I'm on the way to Albia, Iowa. It's a small, very small. The whole county has like 3,000 people in it or something. 3,500 people maybe in the whole county. It's a special town for me. I've never been there, but when we get there, I say we like you're on the ride. But when we get there, I'll tell you why I want to go there. And anyways, there's Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn. I don't know which one's which, because they're both looking kind of raggedy, you know, raggedy britches, as we'd say, right? But hey, kind of interesting place here. I guess it could be a tourist trappy kind of thing a little bit. I didn't spend any money, although there is a place right over here, the Tipsy Bricks. They welcome Harley riders. Anyways, I'm tempted. I got like a spare, maybe $10 change sitting in my car. I may actually stop over here and actually maybe just have a quick beer. I don't want to spend any money here in Hannibal though. I've already been here a little longer than I planned. Been here maybe 30 minutes. I'm posting some pictures on Facebook of it. I'm going to switch over to Instagram here pretty soon. But you might say, why? Well, what's with the pictures? Well, here's what's up with the pictures. You may not know this, but starting like a week ago, there's a little scuttlebutt talk through kind of a friend of a friend of maybe a book coming out of this trip. So some of these photos I'm taking hopefully might be in a book. So maybe I need to start writing some things down. I need to go back and figure out, you know, where I was, what days, whatever. But yeah, so if you look on Facebook, you get to see some pictures of Hannibal, Missouri. And you know, Samuel Clemens, he got his name Mark Twain. I want to tell you this, it's kind of important to me at this moment. Mark Twain, of course, you know, steamboats, right? Steamboats had a shallow draft in the water, but still they needed, you know, some depth. And they would measure off the depth of the water in the river, say the Mississippi, by markings on a rope. I don't know if they were fathoms, you know, 6 foot or what, but Mark Twain was the depth. There are 2 marks on the rope. Mark Twain was the depth at which a standard steamboat could get safe passage without running aground or ripping the hull apart on the bottom of the river or whatever. So Mark Twain implies safe passage. So I'd like some safe passage. And I think right now the United States maybe needs some safe passage. But Mark Twain, safe passage. Samuel Clemens, Hannibal, Missouri. Here's just a shot down the... Is that the... Yeah, it's way down there. That's kind of the historic district. Doesn't look like much here, but if you go down a few blocks, you'll see in the photos. And that's that. So maybe I'll go over here with some Harley riders and have a brewski. I don't know. I don't want to be here too long because I got to get going. Anyways, Elvis Burger 2020 road trip. I can't say it will be going through Memphis now. I'm going to see a friend, Connie Waters, one of the original Outlaws preachers. She lives in Memphis. Elvis Burger tour. I guess I need to go to Memphis, huh? All right. Over and out. Take it easy. Bye. So, hey, this is Gene. Y'all might be wondering where I'm at. This is actually not a Confederate monument. This is actually a federal monument erected to the memory of our fallen heroes of 1861 to 1865. And you see the flags of all the branches. Military, here's the Army. There's one for you, me, Turk. There's the Army flag. Here's the courthouse, I guess, for Monroe County, or the Monroe County is where Albia is located. Albia, A-L-B-I-A, Iowa. This is a very small county. This is downtown here on the square. Very small county. I think I actually have more Facebook friends than, literally, I think I have more Facebook friends than actually reside in Monroe County, Iowa. So why am I here? Because my dad asked me to come here. He died, it'll be eight years ago this Christmas. He died a few days before Christmas, 2012. My dad was from Kenosha, Wisconsin, a little north of Chicago, but he told me my family lineage on his side of the family. I learned it through him and my great aunt. And I'm going to share it with you now because this town has a lot to do with it. Because Albia, Iowa is where my great-grandfather settled, who came from Wales. I think it was my great-grandfather. Might have been my great-great, but I think it was my great-grandfather. Yeah, yes it was. Albia was smaller then, but I want to tell you the story. Look around the square here a little more, and then I'm going to tell you the story. My great-grandfather was a union organizer in the Welsh coal pits, and him and a buddy of his. And back then, we're talking in the latter 1800s, second half of the 1800s, to be a union organizer in the coal pits in Wales meant, well, I'll be honest, basically you were a badass. When you had a strike, it might mean taking a lead pipe upside the head of a police officer, maybe, whatever. It was tough times in those coal pits for unionizing. Well, the authorities weren't too happy with him, and I believe his name was Joseph Andrew Anderson, if I remember correctly. He was basically told by the authorities, get out of England or we're gonna hang you. So him and his buddy got on a boat, came to the United States. They've been blacklisted in the coal pits, or in the coal mines along the eastern seaboard. They couldn't get a job in Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. So they started heading west. They decided they would head towards San Francisco eventually, if they couldn't find any work, and they would get on a boat and they would go to Australia. But as it turned out, Albia in this area at that time was a coal mining area. Bituminous coal pits, open coal pits. There's two kinds of coal, anthracite, bituminous. They mined bituminous coal here in open pits, and they were able to get jobs. And there's Snoopy. And they went to work, and they met a couple of sisters here. There's two sisters, and they courted them, and they married him. My great-grandfather and his buddy. And they had kids. And there was one son that his buddy had that my great-grandfather was the godfather to. He was his godfather. And he helped raise him. And that young man grew up to be John L. Lewis, the founder of the United Mine Workers. And I believe the AFL, was he not? Associated Federation of Labor. Anyways, so my family history on my dad's side is very strongly pro-labor. When your great-grandfather is the godfather to John L. Lewis, founder of the United Mine Workers, it's kind of how it goes. I have an uncle who died, who was a trucker, but he started an actual truckers union in Wisconsin. He actually went ahead. He went against Jimmy Hoffa. Basically, he didn't like what the Teamsters were doing. They started their own union, and he was not killed at the hands of Jimmy Hoffa. He was killed at the hands of a drunk driver on an icy road. He was pulling a full load of steel and hit the brakes to avoid her running a stop sign. She was fine, and he jackknifed the rig, and there was Shelby, and he jackknifed the rig, and he died when I was about 4, maybe 5 years old. My uncle did. But this is Albia. This is where, I guess, my dad always told me to visit here, because this is where my family roots are from in the United States. This little town in the middle of corn country in Iowa. Deep down inside, I guess I'm a Midwestern boy or something. But actually, I'm adopted. I'm actually an immigrant. I came here on a boat with my parents, my adopted parents. My dad was a serviceman. He and my mom adopted me from Heidelberg, Germany. I spent the first almost 6 months of my life in a German orphanage. I was born a German orphan. Don't know anything about my dad. I know my mom's name, my birth mom. That's about it. But here it is, Albia, Iowa. I promised my dad I would come here one day. And here I am. Walk back around to the front. He told me to come here one day. He's not alive to know that I have come here. But, Dad, I made it here. If you're hearing me, I'm in Albia. I made it here, Dad. I kept my promise. Here I am. In Albia. There's the Union Soldier Monument. And some beautiful grass and flowers. It's evening here in Iowa. You wouldn't believe the farms around here. They're just like right out of the pictures. There's huge miles and miles of corn. My dad used to tell me that with the corn crop, there was a saying that it needed to be knee-high by July. And judging from what I was seeing today, there's welcome to Albia. What I was seeing as I was driving by the fields today is that the corn crop should be okay this year. He used to tell me that when we were driving around Wisconsin, that it should be knee-high in July. My dad grew up on a farm there because what happened was my great-grandfather mined, and he didn't want his kids to be in the mines. And they packed up and they moved to Wisconsin, where my grandfather had a farm through the 20s, the Great Depression, World War II. And then my dad joined the military, was a grunt in the Korean War, did a career. And last thing I want to say is that middle name that my great-grandfather had, Andrew. One male each generation on my dad's side of the family receives that middle name. Only one. There were 5 of us on my dad's side of the family. We had a lot of girls. I have a ton of female cousins all over the place on my dad's side. But there were 5 of us. 3, Bill, Jim, and Chuck all did careers. Bill was career Navy. Chuck was career Air Force. Jim, career Coast Guard. I did 3 years in the Army. And then was my little brother who died at 13 years old with muscular dystrophy right after I got out of the Army at 22. I'm the one that got the Andrew middle name. And when my dad told me the story about it, I said, Dad, why don't you tell me all this? When I was younger, he told me in my mid-30s, and he said, you were crazy enough already. The last thing I needed you to know is that you were given a middle name from a headbanging union organizer. You raised enough hell on your own. But I guess that with my great-grandfather's middle name, Andrew, maybe that's where I get a little of my fire from about maybe social justice and labor rights and all that kind of stuff. This is Albia, Iowa. I'm gonna maybe go find a place to maybe get a cup of coffee, maybe a beer, but I think maybe more like a cup of coffee. I don't know. I'm gonna be doing some hard driving. I need to get out to Montana. I got a lot of driving to do. A lot of driving. But, I hope you're not getting seasick with me walking around and just panning around the square here. Anyways, I'm going to shut it off now. The side of the courthouse. And here I am. I made it, Dad. I told you I'd come to Albia, Iowa one day. And here I am. And Turk, it's all because of you, buddy. If I wouldn't be coming out to see you in Portland, I don't know if I'd ever made it to this little town in southeastern Iowa. So thank you, Turk, and I love you, Dad. See ya. Bye. Elvis Burger 2020. I'm out of here. Hey, what's up? It's Gene, Elvis Burger 2020. I'm on live video now. I'm in the middle of corn country in Alabama. I got Mitch, I got my little light, that doohickey you gave me. So we're going to try this out. I'm in the car driving. And I'm wearing headphones, but hopefully the cops won't see it because it's nighttime. I'm in the middle of corn country in Iowa. I just left Albia, Iowa, A-L-B-I-A, And I'll tell you what, it is the county seat of Monroe County. And somewhere online, I forget where I saw it, but Albia has a population, or the whole county has a population something like 3,500 people, or maybe it's 5,000. I don't know. I have more Facebook friends than that county has people, has residents. And the reason I was there is I made a promise to my dad. He died. It'll be 8 years ago. This Christmas, he died a few days before Christmas, and back in 2012. And he was from Kenosha, Wisconsin. I don't want to. I just posted a video about this when I was in Albia, but I'll just give the lowdown. He was raised in Kenosha, Wisconsin, but Albia, Iowa is where my great-grandfather settled when he came to the United States. So even though I'm adopted into the family, my dad always wanted me to visit Albia, Iowa, to kind of see where our family roots in the United States are at. And I promised him I would try to do it. And I didn't know when it was going to happen, but it just happened today. And I'm really excited. I feel good about that. I feel really, really good about that. That I kind of like followed through on a promise to my dad, and got a free beer out of the deal. There was a bar on the square there when I was filming. When I was done, and I went over. I said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna have one beer." And I went in, and he said, "What do you want?" I said, "I'll have a Budweiser." Got a can. I told him my story. I told him because he didn't know me, and he just says, "Dude, that beer's on me, bro." And I was like, "All right then," It's pretty cool. I'll tell you a secret about when you go in a bar and you don't know, it's like a new bar to you. Either get a whiskey and water, a well whiskey and water, or get a Budweiser. And if you get a well whiskey and water, have your cash out in hand, and then if it's a good one, get a well. Tip the bartender well. He or she will hook you up for the rest of the time. You can always tell how good a bar is when you order a mixed drink. Order a well, because they think you're cheap, because you're not getting Jack or Makers or whatever it is you want to get. So you go with that. And a Budweiser, just see what everybody else is. If they have cans, get a can. If they have a bottle, get a bottle. If they have draft, get a draft. This was a pretty rough little bar, actually. Kind of a rough little joint. But I don't see anyone inviting in to talk yet. That's cool. I'm headed to Des Moines, get on the interstate. I kind of wanted to follow, I think what was it, Highway 35, I think, or 34, that took me to where I was going. Actually, if you follow it all across the state, it goes to a little town called Red Oak, and I have a friend named Linda Fagan, and she lived in Red Oak for some years, raised her family there and stuff. And according to the Rand McNally map, by the size of the dot, I would say it's very similar to where I was at. I don't know. I gotta see what the speed limit is here. I can't look at my GPS while I'm doing this. It won't come up on my screen. This sucks. I use GPS primarily so I can always keep tabs on the speed limit. I drive like a grandpa. I'm real big about cruise control, and right now I can't use it, and it kind of sucks. And like there ain't no posted speed limits. I got cars coming up behind me, so I guess I'll figure it out. I'm going 50. It might be 45, might be 55. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was really cool. I went to Albia. I guess that's kind of my roots. I guess deep down inside, I'm a farm boy, huh? But actually, when my great-grandfather went there, he was a coal miner. They had bituminous coal pits here. They had open pits. And if you watch the video I just posted a few minutes ago from downtown Albia, you can learn all about that stuff. And if you listen to this video, you can learn how to go into strange, rowdy bars and know what to order right away. And I also have a theory. I like all kinds of music. But I have a theory that, like if I was the president of the United States, which I can never be because I'm actually an immigrant, I'm a naturalized citizen. But if I were, there are certain executive orders I would pass. Some are kind of outdated. For example, now, if there's a jukebox in a bar, it's all hooked up to the internet. You can order any, frigging song in the universe. you know, it used to be jukeboxes, they had what they had, you know, so many, that's what was in the jukebox, you know, whatever songs. And I, many years ago in the 80s, I decided that if I were ever elected president, every jukebox in the United States would have one Patsy Cline song. And I'm not even a country music fan, but there's something about it. I was like, every jukebox in America got to have a Patsy Cline song. 145, so you have side A, side B, you know, whatever, Walking After Midnight, Crazy, you know, whatever. Just kind of this thing, Patsy Cline. I'm just prattling now. I got a lot of driving to do. I'm gonna probably drive late tonight. I've worked in music, playing in clubs and all. I've had the good fortune to drum behind several different young women, kind of starting out, playing in clubs, whatever. And they got pipes, you know, they can sing well. And there was one, she asked me a few years ago, like, who should I be listening to really develop my voice? And I just looked at her and I said, oh, the big three. She goes, who's that? And I said, that's Sarah, Mahalia, and Billy. And then throw in Patsy, too. Throw in Patsy. And she said, who are those people? And I said, that's Sarah Vaughan, Mahalia Jackson, Billie Holiday, and we throw in Patsy Cline. You know, you need to listen to them. I said, you know, she goes, I listen to a lot of Christina Aguilera. I said, Christina Aguilera listens to them. Okay, so, you know, listen to them, you know. But yeah, Patsy Cline is one of those people for me. And when it comes to gospel music, I mentioned Mahalia Jackson. I'd also mention Shirley Caesar. She's all right. I'm just driving here. I'm going 55 now. Nobody's catching up to me. So I guess that's the speed limit. I think it was coming in. So I'm just going to go with it. And I should be okay. But I'm not getting a call in, so I'm not going to be on too long. You know, this was Mitch's idea about this call-in thing. I think it's a great idea. But you kind of got to, you know, have your headphones handy or something. So I don't know if it's going to work out or not. I mean, they're trying to have a really interactive experience with Elvis Burger, you know, taking requests for the playlist on Spotify, which I got some more songs on there now. Yeah, it's a playlist that has everything on it from Cat Stevens to Madonna to Tool, man, to Rage Against the Machine. What it doesn't have is any Wham. There's no Wham. Remember the group Wham? What was it, George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley, I think it was? There's no Wham. It's because I had some friends I did some long cross-country road trips with back in the mid-'90s, did a couple. And we had certain road rules, and I don't remember how some of them developed, but one of the rules was no Wham. Because, you know, we'd be listening to the radio driving cross-country. If a Wham song came on, we had to immediately change the station. Bad things would happen if we listened to Wham. You know, we could listen to Madonna, we could listen to Christina Aguilera. I guess she was around back then. I don't know. But we could listen to whatever. It wasn't a thing against pop music necessarily, but it was simply that, yeah, there was no Wham. And, you know, we weren't trying to hate on George Michael or anything like that whatsoever, but it just was this rule. And it's kind of followed through. Another rule we had is, and I followed this if I stay at a hotel on the trip, is never put a hat on a bed. That comes from the movie Drugstore Cowboy starring Matt Dillon. Never put a hat on a bed. It's, whoa, and I almost hit a deer. Wow, a deer just went, I'm on this road. It's like, you know, cornfield to cornfield or something. A deer just went trotting right across the road in front of me. And you saw maybe I had to turn the car just a little bit. I mean, I didn't almost hit him like it was, you know, 6 inches, but he just trotted. He didn't even run. He just trotted in front of the car. He was, I could see the whites of his eyes. Do deers have white eyes? I don't know. But, yeah, I was really close. You know, just a doe, just trotting across like she had the right of way. That was pretty intense. I would hate to hit a deer. I had a friend who died hitting a moose with a Jeep, totaled the Jeep, killed him. Moose was injured, but the moose, well, they had to put him down, but the moose actually walked away. It was a friend of mine who ran a bike shop out west. He moved back east. He had to move back east to Maine. He was long hair, but he was actually going to take over his dad's accounting business. He was back home in Maine driving his Jeep one night, about 55, 60 miles an hour down some back road, and just nailed a bull moose. And totaled the Jeep, killed him. He went through the windshield. The moose was stunned, kind of trotted off. I guess I had a little bit of a hip injury from what I heard about it. They had to put the moose down, but it killed my buddy. But, you know, I mean, everybody has to die. I mean, getting killed, like, on impact, I mean, how many people die hitting a moose? You know, I mean, that's a heck of a way to go, you know. And he was DOA. He probably, I guess he didn't feel anything when he went through the windshield into the moose. I think it was the actual contact with the moose that probably killed him. Anyways, I'm driving. I don't have my GPS on, so I have no idea. I'm supposed to be going to Des Moines. I hope I haven't missed a turn. I haven't seen any road signs. Just a fair-sized doe that, I mean, that doe was like, when I came up, I probably had like 15, 20 feet on it. But I knew he wasn't going to stop. She wasn't going to stop. I could tell. So I just gave her a little leeway so she could get her butt out of the road, and that's that. You know. Albia, Iowa. I wonder what I'd have been like if I'd have grown up in Albia. I can drive a tractor, but I bet I could drive a tractor better.